Hello. I'm going to try to record the shir of Daf Nun Vav. I'm doing it now for the third time. Twice I tried, I recorded, and it didn't upload. Hashem should help, it should work this time. Amar Rav Shmuel, we're at the bottom of Nun Hey Amid Beis, the bottom line. Amar Rav Shmuel bar Nachmani, Amar Rav Yonasan, Rav Shmuel bar Nachmani said B'Shem Rav Yonasan, Kol ha'omer b'nei Shmuel chatu, whoever says the sons of Shmuel sinned when they took bribes or they judged dishonestly, Ein Elatay is making a mistake, Shenemar as it says, V'hikash zoken Shmuel v'lo holchu banav b'drachav. When Shmuel got older, his children didn't follow in his path. B'drachav hu d'lo holchu, but michta nami lo chatu. They didn't follow in his path, but they didn't really sin. Elamani mekayim, but how do I apply this pasuk? Vayitu achrei abotza. The pasuk says that they turned to money. The pasuk says they took bribes and they did judge wrongly. Shaleosu kemase aviyim. They didn't do like Shmuel did. Shaya Shmuel atzadik mechazer b'chol makaymas Yisrael. Shmuel atzadik would go to all the places in Israel, v'dan oisam be'oreihem, and judge people in their own cities. Shenemar, as the pasuk says in Perik Zayin, v'holach midei shana b'shana. Shmuel would go annually. B'savav Beis El v'Gilgal v'Mitzpah. He would make a circuit of Beis El, Gilgal, Mitzpah, Shafat es Yisrael, as he judged the Jews. The Hem Le'osu Kain, they would not go to the people. El Yashvu B'Areim, they stayed in their own cities. K'dei L'Harbei Sochar L'Chazaneyan U'L'Seifreim, and that way their shamosim and their own scribes and their local scribes and shamosim would be able to make more money. So they didn't really pocket any money, says Rav Shmuel bar Nachmani and Rav Yonasan, but rather they just made sure that their friends and neighbors made money. But Kitanoi, this is a machlokes Tanoim. There is a pasuk that says Vayitu achrei abotza. The pasuk does say that they turned towards money. We have four shitas hatanoim. Rab Meir says Chelkam shalu b'fiyim. They demanded masarishan. They were Leviim, but whenever they demanded masarishan, people gave them. So therefore, other Leviim that were poor didn't get so much because they were just greedily gathering a lot of masarishan. Rabbi Yehuda Aimer Malai hitilu al balibatim. They used to give merchandise to business people that the business people would sell. They would split the profit. But then these sons of Shmuel now had a bias. They favored these balibatim. So whenever a case came to court, they favored the people that helped them make money. Rabbi Akiva Aimer Kupa Yisrael Shal Maser Not Lubizraya. Rabbi Akiva says whenever they took maserishan, they would take an extra box. They would take more than the maser they were entitled to. So these cases they actually cheated and stole. Rabbi Yosi says matana is not lubizraya. They took the matanos by force. Now some say that they took zroya l'chayayim and keva, which really is supposed to go to kaihanim, and they as Leviim took it. So that's stealing. Or some say that they took maserishan b'zroya by force, which maserishan is theirs, but it should be given to them by the Yisrael, not they should take it by force. Amr Rav Shmuel bar Nachmani, Amr Rav Yonasan, he says, Kol ha'omer David chata ein Elatay. Whoever says that David sinned with Bathsheba and he did adultery is making a mistake. Shenemar, v'hi David l'chal drachav maskil v'Hashem imay. David was successful in all his ways and Hashem was with him. After chet ba liyodai, is it possible that David did adultery? Is shchina imay, the shchina should be with him. Elamani Makayim, so how do I attribute the pasuk that Nasan Hanavi criticizes David and says to him, Madua bazisas dvar Hashem lasais hara, why did you shame Hashem's word to do evil? Shebikesh lasais v'layasa. David wanted to do a sin, but in the end it didn't end up being a sin, as we'll see soon in the Gemara. Amar Rav says, Rabbi Dasami David, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi is a descendant of David HaMelech, Mahapech v'darish b'schusei de David. So he tries to find a merit for David. And he explains the pasuk, Madua bazisos dvar Hashem lasei sarah. Nasan tells David, why did you shame God's word to do evil? So Rabbi Aimer Meshuna Razu Mikal Ra Shabbatayra. This Ra is different than other times in the Torah where it says Ra. Shekol Ra Shabbatayra Ksiv Bu Vayas. In all other Ra's it says, and he did Ra. And Kan Ksiv, here it says Lasais, to do. Shabikesh Lasais V'Layasa. He wanted to do, but he didn't actually do the evil, as we'll see soon how it worked out that he didn't really do Eshes Ish. Nasan tells him, "Es Uriah Chiti Kisa B'Cherev." Uriah the Chiti, you had him killed by sword. But not that you murdered him, but Shahaya l'chaladuna b'Sanhedrin. If he was a rebel against the king, you should have judged him with Sanhedrin. V'leidanto, you didn't judge him by Sanhedrin, but you had him killed yourself. And v'sishta lekachta l'chalisha, and his wife Bathsheba you took as a wife. Likuchen yesh l'chaba, but the marriage to Bathsheba was valid. Tomer of Shmuel bar Nachmani and Rabbi Yonason, because Rav Shmuel bar Nachmani says b'shem Rabbi Yonason, Kol hayoytzel mechames beis David kaisev get krisis leishtay. Whoever goes out to war, to the wars of David, would write a divorce to his wife on condition that if he dies in battle, the divorce should be effective retroactively, and his wife should be a divorcee and not a widow, so she shouldn't be bound to Yibum. Shenemrit says that Yishai sends David HaMelech to see his sons, that's David's brothers, in the battlefield, and he says, Veisaseres charitze hecholav ha'ele tavi l'sar elef, these 10 cheeses you should bring to the general, see how your brothers are doing. And take from them their arubasam. What is the meaning of arubasam? Tani Rav Yosef taught in the Braisa, Dvorim hamu'uravin beinoi lebeina. Things that bound the husband to wife, take that from them, take the divorce document from them. So you see that all the soldiers wrote divorce documents. So therefore, in the end, when Uriah got killed, so it means that his wife Bathsheba had been divorced. So David had lived with a woman who retroactively was divorced. Nasan tells David, "V'isa harakta b'cherev b'nei Amain," and you killed Uriah with the sword of b'nei Amain. Why is he talking about the sword of b'nei Amain? Ma cherev b'nei Amain iyata nenesh olav. Just like you're not responsible when Amain kills people by sword, so af Uriah achiti iyata nenesh olav. You're not responsible for getting Uriah killed. My Tama, what's the reason? Because Uriah was rebelled against David, because David told him to go home to his wife, and he responded, "Adoini Yoav v'avdei Adoini al pnei asad ha'chainim." When my master David the general and the servants of my master David the soldiers are camped on the field, how can I go home to my wife? So there's 3 pshatim how he rebelled against David's command. Either because in front of David he called Yoav Adoini, Yoav is my master, or he talked about Yoav, his master, before he talked about David, or because David told him to go home and he disobeyed and he didn't go home. Amar Rav, so Rav says, Ki ma'aynet bei beDavid le mishkachas bei bar medu Uriah. If you look at David HaMelech's deeds, you don't find any sin except for what he did with Uriah. Because it's written, Rak b'dvar Uriah Chiti. The only thing that David did wrong was only Uriah Chiti. That's what Rav said. Abai Kshisha Rami Derav Aderav. Abai Kshisha asked the contradiction in Rav. Miyam Rav Hochi, did Rav say that the only sin that David had was Uriah? V'amar Rav Kibul David Lashon Hara. Rav said that David was Makabel Lashon Hara. And Kasha, this is a contradiction in Rav. First he said that the only sin that David had was Uriah, and besides for that, Rav says that David was Makabel Lashon Hara. Gufa, let's hear the story. Rav Amar Kibul David Lashon Hara. Rav says that David was Makabel Lashon Hara. The Chsiv, it's written. First, it says as follows: when David became king, he had made a bond, a covenant with Yonason, and when he became king, he wanted to know if there are any descendants of Yonason's family around. So he finds Tziva, who had been a servant in the house of Shaul and Yonason, and he asks him, "Are there any descendants of the family around?" So V'yamer le'amelech. So Tziva says, "Yes, there's a Mephibosheth, the son of Yonason." So David asks him, "V'yamer la'amelech eifayu." So where is this Mephibosheth? I want him. V'yamer Tziva la'amelech. So Tziva says to the king, "Hine hu beis Mocher ben Amiel b'loy devar." He's in the house of Mocher ben Amiel, and b'loy devar means he's of no value. He's an empty person. This Mephibosheth doesn't pay for the king to pay attention to him. David was not mekabel that lashon hara, because it's written, "Vayishlach hamelech v'yikachayu mibeis Mocher ben Amiel." The king sent and he brought him from the house of Mocher ben Amiel, Miloi Dvar, Chazal Darshan Moloi Dvar. He found that Mephibosheth was full of tire. So in that first instance, David was not Mekabel when Tziva denigrated Mephibosheth. So the Gemara now asks, Michdi Chazia de Shakaruhu. So David saw that Tziva is a liar. So Kihader Alshan Lovei, my Tama Kiblamine. So then the second time, when Tziva said Lashon Hara against Mephibosheth, why was David Mekabel? Because the story is, when David was leaving Yerushalayim, because Avshalom chased him from Yerushalayim, so Tziva came with a donkey and food and drink and brought it to David. So David asks him, by the way, where's Mephibosheth? So Tziva now says Lashon Hara. And Tziva says, well, he stayed back in Yerushalayim hoping that if things work out, maybe he, being a grandson of Shaul, might be able to get his power back. And that was Lashon Hara, it wasn't true. And there, David was Makabel, and that's what Rav meant when he said that David was Makabel Lashon Hara. The Chesiv, it's written, V'yomer HaMelech, and the king says to Tziva, Aye ben Adonecha, where's Mephibosheth? Why isn't he coming to join me as I'm leaving Yerushalayim? V'yomer Tziva HaMelech, so Tziva says to the king, Hina Yoshev b'Yerushalayim, he's in Yerushalayim, hoping that maybe he'll get power back. Umenolam de Kibel Menei, and how do you know that David was Makabel that Lashon Hara? The Chesiv, it's written, V'yomer HaMelech l'Tziva, the king says to Tziva, Hine l'chok kol asher l'Mephibosheth. All assets that should have gone to Mephibosheth, I'm now giving it to you, Tziva, the servant. Yomer Tziva, and Tziva says, Hishtachavesi, I bow to you, Emtzochein be'inecha Adonai HaMelech. May I find favor in your eyes, my master the king. I appreciate so much that you have given me Mephibosheth's assets. So here you see that Rav said that David was Makabel Lashon Hara when Tziva said that Mephibosheth is disloyal to the king. I'm going to try to upload this. It's a small piece. Hashem Yazor that it should work, and if it works, I'll do the second part.